Welcome back. Richie Porte is on course here, and he's on course for victory, bringing Sky the title of the Tour of the Algarve. But Bradley Wiggins looks like he is in, well, he's certainly in the hot seat at the moment. He's come home with a 48.64, and Tony Martin is the nearest man to him. TJ Van Garderen dropping into third place. Just coming through some of the backstreet cafe areas here. You've got to watch out for these metal poles. Yes, they are metal, stainless steel, in fact. They get very hot in the summer. If you linger on one of them, you'll take a trip to the hospital. Anyway, no fear of that springtime, and with the spring in his step as well, Richie Porte, he knows that this is his for the taking.
Yeah, with the splits he's doing at the moment, it looks as if he is on track to keep a hold of that yellow jersey. But what a ride by Bradley Wiggins this early in the season, and you know, putting just over a second into the world champion Tony Martin, who hasn't been going great, but you know, coming good, produced a good time trial result today. But what a scalp to take for Bradley this early. The only person that really can, you know, topple Bradley, the top of the leaderboard, is his teammate Richie Porte. He has been setting some good times down the course, but Bradley has been that faster man. But you never know what can happen. But it looks as if, you know, Sky are on to a good result today.
I've been impressed by Richie Porte. He had a superb third stage as well. You know, he's an all-round package, isn't he? And he's been brave enough, I suspect, to go to a team which has is kind of built for success. Trouble is, you can be a star and get lost in that team, can't you?
Yeah, just looking at the intermediate here, and already 38 seconds down to Jesse Sargent. So Mikado not looking to rip up this road today and take that yellow jersey. But
well,
yeah,
it plays into the hand of Richie once again. Yeah,
no, for sure. Richie, the better time trials. We've already gone through the top 10 with Tony Martin in there in 10th, the world champion. But most of the top 10 are filled with people that can climb and strong riders. But the person that stands out there, apart from Tony Martin, is this man in yellow, Richie Porte. So you think, you know, the form man would say that, you know, you'd keep a hold of that. But Bradley's pushing hard, and you know, looks as if Bradley could be pushing for a podium position if these other guys don't get their act together.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Richie Porte's got to be pretty quick today if he's going to keep Bradley and Tony Martin at bay. Tony Martin will finish ahead of Bradley Wiggins, incidentally, because of their positions overall coming into this one, virtually the same time as Meersman comes across with a 13th best time. So yeah, final GC at the moment. Tony Martin's up there and waiting to be knocked down after a stunning time trial by him. He led Bradley Wiggins coming into this one by 7 seconds. They finished with virtually the same time, don't forget. No bonus points, obviously, bonification times on a time trial, as you know, to finish off. So Bradley Wiggins is trailing Martin by, what, 6... maths leaving me behind at the moment. 7 seconds. Yes, of course. There we are. There's 7 seconds because they've finished with virtually the same time. So Tony Martin's at the moment is in the virtual lead. So Richie Porte's got to deliver it. They will know that, and they will be encouraging him.
Yeah, he'll be getting information all the time, especially in the riders that are around about him. But it's a good opportunity for the likes of, you know, Tony Martin, Bradley Wiggins, TJ Van Garderen. I think as we go down to Lewis Lee and Santos, he didn't, you know, set the world alight today. But, you know, the good time trialists can project themselves up the overall, but I don't think any of them is going to topple the man in yellow, and that's Richie Porte, as we see Thiago Mikado and Ruiz Costa, a difference of 158 between the two of them.
Yep. So kind of locked together. Talansky on his way in, and as you can see, already deep in the 33s, and the bottom of the graphic just shows you them clicking away. Still a good time though. 5th quickest for Talansky with a 33.28, still not in the 32s though, is it? And a 32.48 is the benchmark set by Bradley Wiggins some minutes ago.
No, Talansky came onto the scene last year, a bright prospect for Jonathan Vaughters in that Garmin Barracuda team. So a good result here. He rode well the other day on the climb. Maybe made a few mistakes, held back a wee bit, if I was reading the press correctly, and done a good result in this time trial today. So Talansky, a man of the future for Garmin Barracuda.
Yeah, definitely up and coming. It bodes very well. Garmin Barracuda, it sounds like a proper aggressive team, I've got to say. say, which I'm looking forward to seeing unfold this year. I wonder, we were talking about abundance of riches within Sky Pro Cycling, whether Richie Porte, he's hardly been gifted this, to be honest. He's worked incredibly hard, but being allowed to work is one thing. Have they got an abundance of riches, Sky, that might well pay against people like Richie Porte later on in the season?
It really depends on the I know what the goals of the team are for, Team Sky. Really depends on you know, what the race program is for the likes of Richie Porte. Is, you know, because everybody can't do the Tour de France, because, you know, Carver want his lead out guys, and, you know, how many people can go in for the GC for the, you know, for the Tour de France. So would Richie Porte not be maybe targeting, because Sky are funded a lot by the, you know, the Italian side of Sky, so there's a good possibility that Richie Porte is here, you know, preparing for the Giro d'Italia, and so it's kind of splitting up the races. So if you're saying will he get lost, no, I think Richie Porte stands a good chance. Looking at him at the moment, especially with Team Sky, that he could be up there podium, if not winning the Giro d'Italia, with the likes of one of the favourites for the Tour de France is Bradley Wiggins, and obviously Mark Cavendish for the sprint. So if they spread themselves out to the races and their goals, then I don't think he'll get lost in any team.
Good. Well, let's hope not. It'd be fabulous if he gets a good run at the Giro, and why not? And like I said, Chris Froome as well, probably going to go along as key support to Bradley Wiggins to the Tour de France. But we guess it all depends on form, obviously. The reason we've been seeing Mercado and Rui Costa is that they trail this man Richie Porte overall in the classification, coming into this final day by just 12 seconds. They're his main threats on the leaderboard. Johnny Hoogerland is also there. You'll be catching sight of him before you know it. I know a lot of yours favourites. He's not a time trialist, however, bit of an attacking, punchy kind of rider, and yes, I don't expect him to light any fireworks on this particular final phase. Number 17 is Mercado. Your hopes for him today?
I think looking at the other day on the climb, the two of them look good, the two Portuguese riders of Rui Costa and Mercado, but in a time trial like this, over this distance of 25.8 kilometres, if he finishes within a minute of the top riders like Bradley Wiggins, then I would say that was a good ride.
Yeah, I think he's going to be hard pushed to get in the top 10, to be honest. Yeah,
it's going to be very difficult for him. As we said before, a lot of the top 10 here are predominantly kind of climbers, good riders. Let's take nothing away from them, but they aren't specialists when it comes to this type of effort.
Well, Luis Leon Sanchez, Spanish time trial champion, similar sort of region, and well, he's 56 seconds down on Bradley Wiggins' time at the moment, so yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. It's about whether Richie Porte is going to get caught, one suspects, by the likes of Tony Martin, who's matched effectively Bradley Wiggins to put himself as virtual leader for now, but we wait for Richie Porte to come across the line. Take nothing away from those who are still finishing, but as you can see, 35 minutes and 30 shows you how lumpy this this course has been, and how quick it's been as well. Mendes 60-second only, so Mendes coming into this final phase was running 7th. He was only giving away 45 seconds, and he's given away an absolute Father Christmas bag full of time right now.
Well, that's what we're talking about. He was a kind of specialist climber, you know, obviously one of the local continental teams in Portugal. They're allowed to ride these type of events, and you know, they don't have the same funding and development and things like that for these type of efforts, and that's what happens. Mendes shown really well on the mountaintop, hilltop finish the other day.
It's been lumpy, hasn't it? Yeah. It's been an awful lot tougher than we thought that this tour would be.
Yeah, this effort today over this course is very specialist, and if you haven't got been to a wind tunnel or got the right equipment, and aren't a good time trialist like a lot of the climbers are. We have talked about Contador. He's a bit, he's one of the exceptions. He can go up hills very well and time trial very well, and that's attributes you have to win a race like this and a Grand Tour, and that's what Richie Porte is. Richie Porte can rip it up a climb and rip it up in a time trial like this, so that's why he is the favourite when he won that mountain stage the other day.
Jurgen van den Broek already nudging into the 33s here, but he is on the final turn. This won't be too bad a time.
This is a good time for him.
Yeah, exactly. Not in the 32s, but we've been spoiled by the likes of Bradley Wiggins and Tony Martin. A good time nonetheless. And there it is, 5th quickest so far for Van den Broek. That is a good time.
Yeah, losing 30 seconds, and you know that is one of his strong points, is time trialing. So shown well early season again that he's prepared, you know, well over the winter and got some good form. So again, he was you know, disappointing crashing out of the Tour de France last year, but it looks as if, like Bradley Wiggins, you know, they've got their act together, they've kept concentration over the winter and come here, tested their form out, and both of them are looking really well.
It'll be Johnny Hoogland home next, but we stay, of course, with the bike cams out there. I think still just some quiet hope that Mercado might line up a rocket. I think he needs that kind of assistance if he's going to make up the gaps that clearly are going to show up, I'm afraid, like giant fishes in this journey he's taken along the Tour of the Algarve, the 38th time. Not him, you understand, but it's been going for a long time, this event. And why not? It's a super way to open the season, and some teams have actually sent some real quality along to contest it.
No, there is some good quality riders, good teams here. You know, some of the best teams in the world, some of the best riders in the world. And again, it's you know, where you want to prepare. Do you go to France and ride the Tour of the Mediterranean Haute Var, or do you go to Amman in Qatar, or do you come here? And this has produced a good race so far.
I thought you were going to call customer service.
Oh, yeah, I did. I just didn't want to wait on hold, so just...
Much impatience I sense.
Who's this?
But wait no more, you shall.
Yoda. Mate. I'm on Vodafone, okay? I called them up, and they're going to call me back when I'm in front of the queues, so... It's them now. Sorry, it's just... Hey.
Powerful wisdom they possess.
How do you do that?
Jedi Master.
We won't keep you waiting on hold. Vodafone callback, another small thing that can mean the world. Vodafone, power to you.
Choose your side. Join the battle. Star Wars: The Old Republic. Don't miss Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace in 3D. Only on the big screen, February 9th. Certificate U.
If you want to know what's going on in the world of sport, log on to yahoo.eurosport.com. Don't miss a thing with Livebox, bringing you up-to-the-minute scores and results. While the running newsfeed covers all of the major breaking stories hitting the headlines. And get all the action from both British Eurosport channels direct to your PC with the Eurosport player. yahoo.eurosport.com, the only place to be for sport.
They go for the line. Is it going to be? Is it going to be? I'm getting 6 thousandths of a second.
After a stunning 2011 season in British Superbikes, the time has come to move on and show the world what you've got. Jack and the boys take on the world. World Superbikes 2012 starts 26th of February, live on British Eurosport.
Well, this is looking very good for Richie Porte, very good for Sky Pro Cycling as well. Bradley Wiggins looks like he, according to the timesheets anyway, is going to pick up the day's stage win, and that means that Sky Pro Cycling are going to have not only the champion but 3 stage winners along the way as well. Here comes the hooligan. Johnny Hoogland just about everybody's favourite, I think, out there. Nudges into the 34 minutes by just under half a second. That was a good feisty performance by Johnny. He's got a lot of fans now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he got a lot more after the Tour de France last year. It's a strong performance for him. You can't do what Johnny does without, you know, being able to go fast on roads like this. Is he aerodynamically correct? Maybe not. And that's something, if he wants to win these type of races, he can climb. We know that. He's a strong rider, an attacking rider. He just has to develop and, you know, into this all-round rider where he can time trial. He's certainly got a lot of force in his legs, but maybe not the best of his styles when it comes to time trialing.
Richie Porte then on this testy little rise here, and he's dispatching it with aplomb, as you can see. Thiago Mercado, this is not going to be his day, I'm afraid. Look at this, already hitting the 32 minutes, and he's not even in town yet.
Yeah, it's difficult. You're in your home tour. You showed well the other day in the hilltop finish, and then, you know, you can't kind of finish it off. You're sitting second and third with Ruiz Costa sitting in second, Mercado in third place, and it's so near but yet so far. Just saw the pictures of the yellow jersey of Richie Porte, and you could see the cars just in front of Ruiz Costa.
Well, as he comes into Portimao, and the finish line still at some distance, one suspects he may well even get into the 34 minutes here, although he is coming to the end of the bridge and the finish line is not that far away. You can see the efforts he's put into it, kind of acknowledging that fact here. I don't know. The disappointment just must flood away from him. Lot carried on his shoulders, I think, being a local man as well. Here he comes to big applause, and why not? It's been a fine Tour of the Algarve for him. It's just a shame that time trialing wise, 16th quickest. It's going to mean he tumbles down the order.
Yeah, I said if he finishes within a minute 3 he would be happy, so I would think he would be maybe a bit unhappy with that performance, but he's not a specialist at this, and you know, he tried his hardest.
Yes, he did. We'll see whether Rui Costa can get the better of him, but it looks like 5th or 6th place anyway for Mercado. This is Richie Porte. We've kind of been ignoring Rui Costa along the way. I don't know whether that's just a camera issue, but we will see. This is Richie Porte, though, coming past some of the bleached fishermen's cottages along the way here. And as you can see, when the plaster falls away, it's not the best of building materials. Then again, it's been used widely throughout the world. Richie Porte, we won't go into any further detail of the consistency or indeed the makeup of it. There we are then. This is going to be good for Richie Porte, and one thinks that, barring complete disaster here, and we have seen it in the past, so don't really want to talk in those terms, but it's been an amazing tour for him. A great one for Sky Pro Cycling as well. And here comes movie stars Rui Costa right now. This is not a bad performance by him.
Yeah, he's done well. Any of these two getting within a minute of you know, the winner's time today, they would be more than happy with. But Rui Costa coming over the bridge, just about to turn left into the finishing straight, and you know, looks as if he's going to be you know, just under the 34-minute mark as well.
Yes, certainly. We'll see how his time pans out. I think he might well beat Thiago Mercado's time here. I suppose that's a benchmark for him as well. Wants to stay clear of that, and indeed he does. 13th, so 3 places higher up, and Costa with a 47.93. I think Mercado was 33.57.07. So yeah, kind of local bragging rights, I guess, go to him. So we await Richie Porte. We haven't had to wait long because he'd really got into his 2-minute man. The top 10, of course, going at 2-minute intervals as opposed to 1 minute further down the order. He's over the bridge already. This is going to be a good time.
Yeah, it doesn't look the time he's set at the moment, and looking at the time he's got coming over the bridge, it doesn't really look as if he's going to win this time trial. So the winner today is obviously going to be his teammate Bradley Wiggins, which is a fantastic start to the season for him, but he's definitely going to hold on to this yellow jersey.
He is. He's not going to beat Wiggins or Tony Martin's time, but he is going to win the Tour of the Algarve, the 38th running, as we get our season well and truly underway here on Eurosport. It's going to be busy, and I imagine that Richie Porte will be busy as well. Here he comes through the shadows. The lights on the Sky car lit up, and why not? It's party time for them. Richie Porte third quickest then, but he is the Tour of the Algarve champion. Phenomenal performance by Sky. Richie Porte takes stage 3, finishes third here in the time trial at the end. Edvald Bosenhagen took stage 2, and Bradley Wiggins has taken the 5th and final stage here against the clock. 3 stage wins and the title for Sky Pro Cycling, and the happiest of all of them surely has to be Richie Porte.
Oh, there he is, winner of the Walter Algarve this year, but what a win by Bradley Wiggins. We knew he'd be up there today, and it looks as if the time he's done today could have moved him up into a podium position, but taking the scalp of the world champion, so a lot of big things for Bradley Wiggins this year.
So here we are, Bradley Wiggins confirmed as a winner of stage 5. It's the 3rd stage win for Sky Pro Cycling. Edvald Bosenhagen, of course, taking the sprint on stage 2. Richie Porte, their 3rd quickest today in the time trial, but is our champion, finishing ahead of TJ van Garderen and Jesse Sargent. Some decent time trialing scalps being taken there by Richie Porte. He pushed, he needed to, and he delivered. So that's the stage classification. Bosenhagen finishing in 9th place for Sky as well. Used to seeing that name these days. Very, very high up the order. So we just wait for the general classification. But I can tell you that Richie Porte has taken it ahead of Tony Martin. Bradley Wiggins in 3rd place. So he does indeed make the podium here after success in the time trial. Well, it bodes very, very well for a superb season. Richie Porte, then, it is, who's our champion. Tony Martin in 2nd place, with Bradley Wiggins getting on that podium as 6 seconds clear of Jurgen van der Broek, who also gave it a good go here. Bradley's on form too. Beware, everybody. Sky 1 and 3 here. Omega Pharma, Quick-Step, and Tony Martin proving that he is still just an amazing force to be reckoned with and won't be tied anybody who takes him lightly. Nice to see Johnny Hoogland in the top 10 here. Well, I'm Carlton Kirby, alongside me Brian Smith. It's been an interesting tour, this one. I think probably in most people's diaries as one to watch now, springtime.
No, definitely a great start to the season, and you know, a great start for Team Sky. And just look at the guys that we're going to be talking about in July in that top 10 there.
Well, the heli man is doing his job, putting the flamingos to flight. They'll land again after he's long gone, you'll be pleased to know. From me, Carlton Kirby, Brian Smith, and of course Daniel Lloyd earlier on in this tour. It's bye-bye.